Okay, so you found a new fitness podcast.
Right.
Like, there are so many out there these days. How do you even choose? Have you heard of Fit Together?
I haven't yet. What's the deal with that one?
Well, that's what we're diving deep on today. See if it's worth your time.
Ah, cutting through the noise for us. I like it.
Exactly. No one's got time to waste on fitness advice, right? So, Fit Together, First Impressions. The hosts are John and Emily. He's got this whole background in traditional sports, then got into weightlifting, became a trainer.
Oh, so he's probably seen it all when it comes to people's fitness journeys.
Yeah, which makes me think this podcast might be good for, like, any level, you know?
Not just aimed at the pros. Nice.
Right. And then there's Emily. She got into fitness later in life. Running. Even ran a marathon.
Wow, talk about inspiring.
Totally. And that's kind of the vibe I got from their whole Fit Together thing.
Ah, so.
They're big on, like, everyone's journey is different, no judgment.
Oh, thank goodness for that. You're right. There's so much comparison out there in the fitness world.
Ugh, it's the worst. And they talked about how overwhelming all the fitness information is these days.
They're not wrong. It's like everyone's an expert with their own system, their own supplements, their own whatever.
And they're coming at it like, let's make this simple.
Okay, so less overwhelm, more actually sticking to it. I'm on board with that.
Me too.
Yeah,
So they've got this structure planned out, monthly themes.
I like that. Keeps it interesting.
Yeah, like January was goal setting, February was nutrition.
Oh, so they're hitting those big picture things too, not just workouts.
Exactly. And get this, they're bringing in guest experts too.
Ooh, so it's not just their perspective. We get like a whole team of pros.
Yep. And they seem really big on actually connecting with listeners, making it a two-way street.
I was going to say, that's a big one for me. Is it just them talking at you, or can you actually interact?
Right. So they've got Q&A sessions planned.
Love that. Get your questions answered directly.
They're going to be sharing listener success stories too.
Oh, nice. I love that.
Me too. It's so motivating.
It's like, okay, this isn't just theory. It's actually working for people.
Exactly. And that's something I really look for in a fitness podcast, you know? Like, does it feel real?
Oh, totally. You can tell when it's just some fitness robot reading a script, you know?
Ugh, the worst.
Yeah, you want to feel like the hosts get it, like they've been there.
Yes. 100%. And another thing, I am so over fitness podcasts that are like only for super fit people.
Yeah, it's like they assume everyone's starting at level 10.
Right.
Like, sorry, I haven't been hitting the gym since I was 5.
Exactly. And can we please ditch the jargon? I don't need a PhD in exercise science just to understand what they're talking about.
Right. Speak human language, please.
Seriously. Okay, one last thing that really stood out to me about Fit Together. They're very much like no pressure.
Oh, in what way?
Like they emphasize that it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress.
However that looks for you.
Yes, which I think is so important because it's easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others.
Oh, 100%. And then you end up feeling discouraged.
Right. It's like everyone's on their own journey.
And that's something they really seem to emphasize, that sense of community.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
not just you against the world, you know?
Like, we're all in this together.
Okay, so we've talked about the vibe, the hosts.
Mm-hmm.
What about their actual approach to fitness? Anything stand out to you?
Yeah, they seem really big on goal setting, which I know you're into.
Oh, for sure. Just like, if you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there?
Right. But they weren't just spouting off the usual SMART goals stuff.
Which we've all heard a million times.
Exactly. They went deeper, talking about aligning your goals with your values.
Ooh, I like that. What does that even mean? Give me an example.
So instead of just saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, you'd ask yourself, why do I want to lose 10 pounds? What will that allow me to do or experience?
Okay, so it's about the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Not just the number on the scale.
Right. Like maybe you want to have more energy to play with your kids or feel more confident. Those are values. Oh.
Oh, that makes sense. Did they talk about how to actually do that, though? Like, how do you connect your goals to your values?
They gave some great examples. One thing they emphasized was celebrating your wins, like really acknowledging how far you've come.
Oh, instead of just focusing on what's next.
Exactly. Because that can be so demotivating. You never feel like you're there yet.
Ugh. Yeah, it's like the finish line keeps moving.
Right. And what's interesting is there's actually a psychological reason for that. When you celebrate your wins, even the small ones, it releases dopamine in your brain.
Ooh, get sciencey on us.
And dopamine makes you feel good, which reinforces that behavior, so you're more likely to stick with it.
So it's like a brain hack for staying motivated.
Exactly. It's not just about feeling good in the moment, it's about rewiring your brain for success.
I am here for that. Now, they didn't sugarcoat things either, right? Like, what about when you have setbacks?
Yeah, they definitely addressed that, and they had a really good perspective on it.
Because let's be real, setbacks happen.
All the time.
Yeah.
Especially with fitness, right? Life gets in the way.
You miss a workout, you eat a whole pizza, it happens.
They're all about viewing those setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities.
To learn and grow.
Exactly. Like, okay, what can you learn from this? How can you adjust your approach next time?
So it's more about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And you know another thing they touched on that I appreciated? Nutrition. They're not about those restrictive crash diet things.
Ugh, thank goodness. Because who can live like that?
Right. They're all about finding a sustainable way to eat. Nourishing your body with whole foods.
Listening to your body's cues.
Exactly. It's about making choices that make you feel good, not deprived.
Okay, so big picture. What's the main takeaway here for our listeners? Should they check out Fit Together?
I'd say absolutely. They've got a really refreshing, relatable approach. It's about progress over perfection, meeting you where you're at, and building a supportive community. If you're tired of the same old fitness noise, I'd say give Fit Together a listen.
I love that. And we want to hear from you, too. Have you listened to Fit Together? Head over to our social media and let us know what you think. Until next time, keep diving deep and exploring new avenues for growth.